What is illegal that feels legal? Watching pirated movies. It's perfectly legal to stream pirated movies or TV shows. Downloading them is illegal. Actually, it's the uploading that is illegal. The issue is people don't have the right to distribute. People get nailed for torrents on the upload. Streaming is entirely download. Even though we all know that stream is dodgy, the law is written that way because it is unreasonable to expect the average person to check that every media source has the correct rights. You don't ask your cinema for proof they can show you the film you bought a ticket for. You just assume they have the rights. Same for downloading pirate copies. It isn't on you to prove that Pirate Bay or whatever does or doesn't have the rights. However, the instant you upload, you damn well better have the rights. Peeing outside. Handling a salmon suspiciously on the streets of London. Recording NFL or MLB ball games without the expressed written consent of the NFL or MLB. Beating my dick off in the Wendy's parking lot. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Driving around Oregon with a pistol with a loaded mag in it, locked in a box, in your trunk, but then you accidentally cross into Portland city limits. Filling in potholes in the street. Being an unmarried woman in Florida and skydiving on a Sunday. Shitting in my brother's taco salad. Feeding someone else's parking meter. Soliciting campaign contributions from foreign powers. Ignore the FBI piracy warning. Gambling under 21. My friends and I play poker all around campus and no faculty have ever bat an eye at it. Concealed carry pistol. Legal where I live, so it feels legal everywhere. It's funny, because in my country it would be absolutely unthinkable for someone to conceal carry a handgun. Only the special response team would even have them. Paying someone to help out with a project under the table. I don't mean like an ongoing employee, I mean like a buddy helps you do a painting job for an apartment or refinish a basement, so you throw them a few $100 for a couple days of working with you. Kinder Surprise. Yes, Kinder Surprise eggs are illegal in the US. They also have a ridiculous $2,500 fine per egg you try to smuggle in. Oral sex. Illegal in my state. Are you in the United States? Australia has states as well. The law may still be on the books, but laws criminalizing private non-commercial sexual behavior between consenting adults were invalidated by Lawrence v. Texas in 2003, reversing Bowers v. Hardwick from 1986. Sticking stuff in people's mailboxes. Pissing on the edge of the road. Road trips are hard sometimes. When you gotta go. Wait, that's illegal. Weed. Even if a particular state has legalized it, it's still federally illegal in the US. Smuggling larger quantities of alcohol than the small amount allowed that's cheaper in other provinces across provincial borders into your own. Apparently, my province as of last year no longer has those restrictions though and have joined two others in allowing unlimited quantities of booze. Waiting on someone by the porch. If person is there, you'll get in. If they aren't, or don't want you in, you are to leave. Many places consider camping, even if just for minutes, on porches as part of trespassing. Fireworks. Drugs in the Netherlands. Yes, weed remains illegal because the Netherlands is a signatory to various international treaties banning drugs. It's just that there's this legislative framework within which police have agreed not to enforce the law. Coffee shops, for instance, have to pretend that they don't know where they get the weed they're selling. Watching TV in the UK without your license. Sir, do you have any idea how fast you were channel surfing back there? License and registration please. Yo, I'm in Australia and if ya drive in the bush and sign says 80 km/h you defo goin' 100 feels legal mate. I had to read this in a thick Australian accent to actually understand what you said. Watching old Broadway bootlegs of shows that aren't even being performed anymore. The Trade Federation landing their invasion army on Naboo. Having sex with relatives. What are you doing, stepbro? Stuck in the dryer, again. Smoking weed. Minor traffic infractions on quiet roads. Prostitution. In some countries prostitution is legal, and safe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but taking a picture of the Eiffel Tower at night. Defacing money. I had a dollar bill once that had a Trump campaign thing stamped on it. I don't remember what it said, but the Three Musketeers I bought with it was delicious. Whistle blowing. If you've worked for an intelligence agency in the US, you can't even tell the court why you've done what you did and why you thought it was the right choice. Jaywalking. I think it's important people understand what jaywalking is though. At least in my state, it is legal to cross the street at any time. As long as there is no traffic, it is only jaywalking if you cross outside a proper crossing, when a proper crossing was available, and you disrupt traffic in doing so. Piracy. Agreed, there are no laws on the high seas. Watching Netflix in Chicago without paying your Netflix tax. Uploading content on YouTube for a general audience but how it's made appeals to kids and it had ads and now you're out 42 grand because internet laws from 1998 never got updated. Teenager sex. You can have a birthday within one day of your significant other, but for 24 hours you could be committing a felony. Downloading abandoned proprietary software. Even if the company that made it no longer exists, it's still technically copyrighted. Not having health insurance. Owning chickens in many parts of the country. I suspect foul play. Anything that requires people to be 21 rather than 18. Like drinking while in the military. Hey, go to that sandy place and try not to get shot or blown up. Here's a handful of opiate painkillers, but don't touch that cause light. I was a lifeguard once and technically it was illegal to use an EpiPen to help someone experiencing an allergic reaction. Our boss told us that in the event of an emergency, we should administer the EpiPen and that they would have to fire us but would then do anything they could do to rehire us. Possessing a rifle with a barrel less than 16 inches. I can brew beer, I can make wine, but the moment I evaporate the alcohol in the wine, I am committing a crime. Buying margarine in parts of the US. Cannabis. Literally cops in my city don't care at all. If you get caught with it they literally just empty it out onto the ground. No punishment, but technically you can go to jail for a while for possession of it. In London it is illegal for the Queen to cross from Westminster into the City of London without written permission from the mayor. Strange. I thought the Queen could move in any direction. But she can't jump over other pieces. Just imagine it as a rook in her way, but instead of getting blocked she will be arrested. Collecting rainwater. Lemonade stands. Just building a house on your own property without permits, zoning, etc. Not just houses, but any large structure. It's ridiculous in some places what they won't let you build. Me and my grandfather tried to build a rocket launch pad one time, and now we're on some government watch list and can't buy rocket fuel or possess enriched uranium. Absolutely ridiculous. Driving 20 km/h over the speed limit on an empty road. Crossing the street in US. First time I visited New Orleans. Got out of my hotel, and wanted to cross a street 2/3 lanes. Divider. 2/3 lanes on the other side. Like any normal person, I waited for the red light, and crossed on some white lines, not a crosswalk, but close enough. Got yelled at by someone in a car, something along the lines of "Dude, that's jaywalking." Had no idea what that meant. Looked it up, and never crossed another street in the US unless the little green man was peering into my soul. Weird laws you got there. Collection of rainwater in barrels on your property. Turning right on red. You can do that in my state but not in some others. Consensual incest maybe. Maybe, nice cover. Pulling out into the outside lane. I see people do it all day every day. In Norway it's illegal to raise the alcohol content of anything, so it feels perfectly legal to add some whiskey to my coffee to make an Irish coffee. But adding whiskey to coffee raises the alcohol level of the coffee, so it's illegal to do. However, if I put the whiskey into the empty cup and then add coffee, I'm diluting the alcohol of the whiskey, which is perfectly legal. Irish coffee may or may not be illegal depending on the order in which you mix the ingredients. Neither coffee, whiskey, or a mixture of the two are in any way illegal. Mixing them in the incorrect order might very well be. This goes for any mixed drinks. Even if your goal is to dilute wine, if you pour the wine into water, you're breaking the law by raising the alcohol level of the water. You have to pour water into wine if you want to dilute your wine legally. Crossing the street while there is a pedestrian crossing lane within 20 meters. In the Netherlands. Letting my tits feel the breeze. Stop right there, criminal scum. Full auto. Bringing certain things home from abroad. For example, I'm in Spain and I want to bring home some Iberico ham, but there's a really high chance it gets found at the airport and I could get screwed for it. Up to a 10k fine. That's because food products can harbor unknown bacteria, organisms that can cause human illness or destroy crops and the like. Smoking crack with homeless people so I can feel charitable. Downloading a car. Playing ROM hacks for extremely old games that don't make the company money anymore, like Super Mario World. Where I live it is illegal to reverse backwards out of your driveway, but because of about 90% of our population does it, no one cares. Flirting. In NYC a fine of $25 can be given if caught flirting, but this is not really enforced. Anal sex. Here in Kentucky,